Hello and welcome to Pardon the Integration, introducing the new winner in gaming, a podcast where we discuss the trends in the channel today. I'm your host, Kenna Johnson from the Channel Company. My guest today is Lexy Marques. Lexy is a channel platform marketing engineer for desktop at Intel. Lexy, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be talking about what's new in the 13th gen of Intel's desktop processors. The way our program works is we have 3 topics to discuss, and we have 3 minutes to talk about each. You'll see a countdown clock at the bottom of the screen. Today, we'll discuss new architecture, performance, gen-on-gen, and dynamic platform features. So let's get started. Segment 1, new architecture. Intel Core processors have finally reached their teens. What's new in the 13th gen of Intel's desktop processors?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that it's just in the teens. So with the 13th gen Intel Core desktop processors, we are now delivering the world's best desktop experience. And what that means, we'll get into a little bit later. But in addition to that, we see a leap in creator performance with increased cores, increased threads, and cache to keep those people in that creativity flow, as well as our i9-13900K P-Core Max Turbo frequency hitting up to 5.8 gigahertz. So this is new and it's very exciting.
What is the difference between performance cores and efficient cores, and why is this important?
Yeah, so within this performance hybrid architecture, there's 2 core microarchitectures integrated into one die. So what does this mean exactly? We have 2 types of cores. We have the P cores, which are also called performance cores, which are optimized for handling single and lightly threaded workloads. Then we have our efficient cores, also called E cores, that are optimized for handling and scaling highly threaded workloads. On some SKUs, we've doubled the E cores, so we'll also see an increase in performance.
What other improvements and features make this new gen so advanced?
Yeah, so we've increased our Intel Smart Cache, which is the L3, as well as the total L2 cache on our Intel Core i5 SKUs and above for enhanced performance. As well as our processors themselves, we are launching the Z790 chipset. So, when we talk about improvements and features on the processors themselves, we like to talk about the platform. So with this platform, we'll have increase in performance for our 700 series chipsets, as well as DDR5 memory speeds up to 5,600 megatransfers per second.
Segment 2, performance gen on gen. Where will customers see the biggest improvements gen on gen?
I would expect the largest gen-on-gen performance to be seen in that multi-threaded performance with up to 41% increase, and then in single-threaded performance up to a 15% increase.
We're seeing Intel mention experiences in their superlatives for 13th gen. Can you share with us why Intel's doing this?
We've been focused on experiences for as long as I can remember, and that only goes back to 10th gen, but that's still quite a few launches back. And when we talk about experiences, we want to make sure that we're not just talking about specific performance on applications, but processor speeds, as well as performance, as well as platform support, as well as what the ecosystem is providing and what can our partners get. So it's the full picture of what somebody needs out of their desktop.
Help us to understand which customers or market segments this processor is ideally suited for. How should tech providers position it to their customers?
Yeah, so with the launch of 13th gen Intel Core desktop processors, we are launching the K and KF SKUs. So there's 6 specific SKUs that we're launching on September 27th. These K and KF SKUs, we at Intel advocate that those are for our gamers and our creators. While anybody can get a K SKU, it's for somebody that's looking for the best performance that they can buy from Intel. So that's what I would say to focus on. It would be that performance that these SKUs provide.
That brings us to segment 3, dynamic platform features. Gamers are clearly prime customers for the 13th gen. Can you describe a few of the dynamic features that will appeal to this audience?
Yeah, so our K and KF SKUs, we talk K a lot, but really what that K means is it means unlocked or the ability to unlock it and overclock it. So, what are those features that appeal to the audience? It would be that robust memory overclocking with Extreme Memory Profile 3.0. It would be the ability to have an easy one-click overclocking with Intel Speed Optimizer, which is a new feature in Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, or it's the new per core tuning visualization within the Intel Extreme Tuning Utility. So there's a lot of new dynamic features as well as existing features that our customers can use with 13th Gen.
Now, you did mention overclocking. What does it mean for 13th Gen to have the best overclocking experience?
So one, I would say it would be the breadth of tools and features that are at the hands of our overclockers. But really, with the new enhancements that we have, this gives beginners, intermediate, and extreme overclockers the ability to do more with their systems.
If a customer doesn't have experience in overclocking, can they still benefit from an unlocked processor?
Yeah, so while these are unlocked processors, they have the ability to be unlocked. So a customer, if they don't have experience with overclocking and they don't want to overclock, they don't have to overclock the K SKU. They can just reap the benefits of the great performance that that processor has. If they are interested in overclocking and they're not familiar, there's tools that allow like that easy one-click overclocking with Intel Speed Optimizer I mentioned that may be appealing and a little bit easier for them to get started with overclocking. But there's so many tools and there's so many even tutorials out there that can share with what overclocking is. So yes, I would say the K SKU can be for you even if you don't overclock.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Lexi. Before we go, I'd like to list my top 3 takeaways. The 13th gen of Intel's desktop processors will be Intel's best desktop experience. The overall experience will be more than Intel's i9-13900K being the fastest, but also include platform improvements, performance, and ecosystem. Overclocking can be for anyone from beginners to experts. That concludes Pardon the Integration, introducing the new winner in gaming. I'm Kenna Johnson. See you next time.